There's nothing worse than getting through this whole entire thing and then realizing that I have not hit record. So, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start recording, and I have muted everyone as well. So thank you for joining. Tonight's presentation and tonight's lesson is going to be about kind of learning and understanding what our intake is and what everything we put into our mouths. And I know that one of the biggest things that I stress is logging and measuring. And even though we are logging and we are measuring, sometimes we don't necessarily realize the inconsistencies that occur when we aren't putting everything on the scale, or even if we are putting things on the scale, sometimes the way that we are measuring things might be inaccurate. And just the teeniest, tiniest little inaccuracies sometimes could lead to frustrations down the road when we can't figure out why the scale is not moving. And I actually stumbled across this accidentally when I was looking at someone's log not too long ago, in fact. And it was somebody who was stuck at a certain weight. She didn't have a whole lot of weight to lose, but I noticed that every single day she was eating avocado, and every single day the avocado was the exact same weight twice a day, the exact same calories twice a day. And I thought about that, and I'm like, hmm, that cannot be accurate. And when it's something like avocado, the fact of the matter is avocados come in all different sizes. They come in all different types of varieties. They come in all different kinds of shapes. Even if you have two avocados that look like the same exact size, you might cut them and the seed might be different, where the flesh that you're eating is not the same. And I thought, for the amount of calories that an avocado has per gram, this could add up to quite a difference. And so I got to thinking about all of the other consistencies that can occur just by us not paying attention and zeroing into little tiny minute things um, in the beginning. Whether you are new to the program, whether you've been with me forever and ever, we take things for granted when we are throwing things on our plate. And I hear this all the time. I eat the same things. I eat the same things. And so what we end up doing, and I've taught you this, is to just go on your log and swipe one of the previous one of the previous entries, and enter it. And for the most part, that works. But the problem with that is if you put in the wrong measurement the first time, then you are setting yourself up for repeated um, errors all the way down. And so the reason that I wanted to do this presentation is to make you guys aware of the differences and make your brains aware of the fact that there are these inconsistencies, so that when you are logging certain things, that certain things stand out in your mind as something that you need to pay better attention to, especially when it gets to that point where perhaps the scale isn't moving, because that's when you have to zero in on some of these smaller things. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen here and pop open the presentation I put together. Know your intake. All right. Right. There you are. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Know your intake. So this will improve your success, and it will definitely improve your knowledge on food. It'll improve your knowledge on some foods that you may or may not be counting as anything. And it'll really kind of open your eyes to some of the mistakes that you might be making along the way. All right, so weighing and measuring your food. You have a 75% increased success rate. I say this, I said it last week, and I will keep saying it to reinforce the fact that it is true. You have a 75% increased success rate. You have a 50% more, you're 50% more likely to keep the weight off, and 80% for permanent change when you combine the two together. So those of you that are listening that have been with me for a while, that are still logging, are with me, nodding, going, yes, this is true. So is this a plateau when you hit a plateau, or is it distorted information? Research says that plateaus actually don't happen for 8 to 10 months. And right away, I usually have people after a month saying, I'm stuck, my weight's not moving, and it's usually distorted information. And so there's all of these crazy facts that no one ever teaches anyone. I mean, there's a million books out there, and I think I've bought them all. But yet no one ever talks about these tiny little inconsistencies when it comes to nutrition and when it comes to the value of foods and calories. So a label, for example, on a can shows everything, including the liquid. So my husband, the other day, who needs to lose weight, and of course, I don't know why he won't go on my plan, but that's a whole different story. Was weighing his beans, and he dumped out the beans, and the Catalini beans showed that there were 3.5 servings in there, and he weighed it, and he's like, there's an inconsistency. There's not 3.5 servings of beans when he weighed it. And I told him that the servings include the liquid, and so do the calories. The calories include the liquid, the sodium includes the liquid, all of it is on there. So I don't know about you, but the last time I popped open beans, I did not consume the liquid. I usually rinse them. So when you are putting beans or any canned good, rinse it. And the caloric information that's on the back is pretty much invalid because you're not going to be consuming all of that. So if I just confused you completely, it is confusing. And so how do you go about logging that? Well, you have to almost dig into the depths of MyFitnessPal and look for beans, not out of that can, because out of that can is going to include the beans with the liquid. So what do? When you look up FitnessPal and you see Catalini beans, bushes out of a jar, you're getting it with liquid. You look up FitnessPal and you see beans, Catalini beans, a cup of beans, and they're cooked. And then you look on FitnessPal and you see Catalini beans and they're dry. You're getting 3 completely different calories. And so one person might put in dry, one person might put in cooked, one person might put in canned, and you're getting a whole different range of calories. So this is why people get stuck, because of the distorted information. So I'm teaching you the right information. And when you learn the right information, that's when the scale will actually move, because the calories that you get in your budget is all you get. And so if you're eating them dry, you're getting way more than you should. And so I am teaching you the right way to do it. Okay. All right. So the food scale versus measuring cups. Certainly measuring cups are much easier. Scoop and go. The food scale is a pain. Of course it is. It's, you got to turn it on, you got to wait for the grams to show, but the food scale is the most accurate. And I'm going to explain why. Obviously, if you're measuring liquid, you're not going to put that on the food scale. You can, But if it's a liquid form, putting it in a measuring cup is one thing. But if you are measuring something like beans, and you were to put dry beans in the measuring cup, we all know, we've all done this, where we put something in a measuring cup and that line comes up somewhere between the 8 there and the 9, and we don't really know where it is. That's an inconsistency. And if we're talking about lettuce, it doesn't matter because lettuce, it has such low calories. But if we're measuring something like quinoa, that is a lot of calories, or sliced almonds, which is a lot of calories, then it's going to make a difference. And so in that case, getting used to the food scale is essential. I can tell you, the more you use it, the easier it will become. And you really just have to make a habit of using the food scale. Have it out if you haven't ordered it. It's a $10 tool. Keep it in the kitchen, have it somewhere where it will become your regular go-to. And then the more you get used to using it, the less you're going to need to when you're out and about. You're going to start to look at a portion and know that that is about the right size. Your brain is going to start making those connections. Okay. All right. So let's weigh a few things, shall we? All right. So I have here a few things to measure that I'm going to measure in a little bit. But first off, we have cups, we have ounces, we have tablespoons, we have teaspoons, and we have grams. When you've been on Fitness Pal, you've seen all of those. You can put in that you want to get flax seeds, for example. That is one thing on your meal plan. Uh, you put in flax seeds, you get cups, you get ounces, you get tablespoons, you get blah, which one should you use? We are accustomed to going with using the tablespoons or the teaspoons. Those again are going to give you the greatest line of error. The one that I want you to start getting used to is the grams. This, I don't want to freak you out. Those of you that just started late, I'm sorry that you're getting this information kind of early in your adventure. But those of you that have been with me for a month, you've been with me for a month now, and it's time to learn about grams. If you're new, then you're gonna jump right into it. Grams are the most accurate. And so I have 3 images here of MyFitnessPal, and all 3 are blueberries. Okay. And those of you that have been on MyFitnessPal have seen this, where you put in blueberries, and here we have 1 cup. This option did not let me, I couldn't move it. I couldn't find any, when I hit this little plus, this little arrow, it did not give me any other choices. So I did not pick that choice of blueberries. I went to another blueberry option. This blueberry option gave me cup, gram, berry, teaspoon, ounce, pound, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I really like when I find ones like this, because there's times where I might just throw 3 blueberries on my oatmeal and I just want to count 3. So in this case, I would click this option, change this to 3, and I'm going to get my actual measurement for 3. Okay. Now that's okay to do for blueberries because they're tiny. But when we get into other larger things that are more significant, using grams is what I want you to start getting used to. Okay. And here's another one here that is giving you the options: cup, container, ounce, millimeter. This one does not have grams. So of these 3, I would find and pick this one here and stick this one in my log, because this one here is going to give me the most beneficial option for zeroing in on the best caloric measurement for the blueberries. And when I measure things for you here, you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. And on Fitness Pal, I've had new people go on and say, well, I'm looking at apples and I don't see one here that has grams. There's probably 10,000 options for apples. You just have to keep looking until you find one that has grams. And as soon as you select that one, it'll be in your log, and then you won't have to keep digging for the option with grams. Okay. So when to weigh? Here's another big question. Raw? Do you weigh your food raw? Do you weigh it cooked? Do you weigh it chopped? Do you weigh it whole? I mean, these are things that if you haven't thought of them yet, they've probably in the depths of your brain, but you've been overwhelmed, so you just kind of like went on with it. But this is also a huge reason why people repeatedly say they don't see results. So first off, all of your food is measured typically raw unless it's stated in the recipe. So when you look at your meal plan, um, I'm very careful when I write out the plans. When it says to put chicken, for example, on your salad for lunch, the ingredients say 4 ounces of chicken. It doesn't say cook the chicken. It says 4 ounces of chicken. So in that case, the chicken's already cooked. So you are going to weigh it cooked. So typically for your breakfasts, your lunches, your snacks, everything is measured cooked. The only time you're going to put something in raw is in your dinner recipes because you are putting in, and if you think about your dinner recipes, you'll see it'll say like 1.5 pounds of beef, add that to the crock pot. Well, you're not going to be able to measure the beef after it's been stewed and cooked and mixed with all the juices and vegetables, right? So when you are preparing something and the ingredients show it uncooked, then you're gonna measure it uncooked. So the dinner recipes typically is raw. The breakfast, lunch, snacks are cooked. And again, the cardinal rule is you're gonna measure it the way it's stated in the recipe. But as a whole rule, it's always going to be typically in its form that you're going to eat it in. Okay, so a potato, you're gonna eat it cooked, so you are gonna measure it cooked. And for your information, there's a huge difference between a raw potato and a cooked potato. They actually lose density when they cook. So you're actually getting less when you eat it because they get lighter. So it's very significant. So, play around with that and see that. Chopped versus whole. That's a huge difference. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that if you chop a bunch of grapes, that you're going to fit a lot more in a cup than if you put big, huge grapes in a cup. And so we could talk all day about this, but you're going to get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that are going to turn into thousands of calories at the end of the month if you are chopping your strawberries and your grapes and your mincing up your almonds instead of putting them on whole and measuring them that way. This is all going to add up. So when you measure them in grams, there's no question. Okay. So avoid the frustration and just do it right. Measuring them by grams is going to do that. So I have some examples here to show you the difference. And this is really mind blowing. So we have some whole almonds, okay? Cup of whole almonds is 520 calories. A cup of sliced almonds is 780. So same exact portion. So if you are throwing a cup of almonds in your oatmeal or in your muffins or whatever it is, you're talking a significant calorie difference. Okay. Oatmeal, This is a cup of cooked oatmeal. This is a cup of raw oatmeal. Quinoa, or cooked, raw. And obviously, this makes sense. But what I want to point out about this is actually both of these. Um, Depending on how you cook your quinoa and your oatmeal, you could make your oatmeal or your quinoa really fluffy, by cooking it longer. And so a cup would be more dense. So that would be an invalid measurement as well. So one person could make their cup really fluffy and it could fit up a cup, and their cup might only be 200 calories, where someone else might make theirs a little bit more al dente and theirs might be 300 calories. So if you measure it by grams, there's no question. You get the grams you get, and that is what you get, because no matter how you boil it, no matter how you fluff it, no matter how you crimp it, you're going to get the same amount. And then the grapes, 70 calories per cup, 355. And that one was like, whoa. Yesterday I had somebody join, and she was talking about putting frozen berries in her oatmeal. And I said to her, measure them before you defrost them. Because think about that. The frozen berries are all full and fluffy, but then you defrost them in the microwave and I mean, you're going to fit like triple the amount of frozen berries. And I mean, why not? Why not do that? But you're cheating yourself when you do that. And if you don't know that that's happening, then you're not going to see the difference. So then, of course, we have the questionable portion sizes. And I'm a Costco fan. Who isn't? If you don't go to Costco or Sam's, I'm sure you've come across this problem a lot. And I don't know if manufacturers do this on purpose, but we have two different labels here. They're both veggie straws, I believe. This one here says 1 ounce of veggie straws is 38 straws. I love when I see that one because I'm like, yes, I can count 38 straws, right? And I have. But then you come across the one like this that says 1 ounce, and you get no guidance at all. You're like, what? How many straws do I get? Right? You get this little tidbit that 4.5 servings are in the bag, but who is going to empty out the bag and divide it into, quarters, 4.5 no less. So how do you know that you get 150 calories worth? There is no way, and I can tell you this from my own experience and many times of it. When you open up a bag of who knows what from Costco that tastes like heaven, and you see the number 150, and you're like, wow, that's low. And you see 1 ounce and you're like, that looks like a decent amount. You ain't stopping. You're going to keep on going because it's so ambiguous. So how do you know is you get out your food scale and you toss on whatever it is until you get to that number 28. And here it is, 28 again. So in this case, 28 grams is 38 veggie straws. And that is how you figure out how many chips you get, or how many chocolate covered raisins you get, or whatever it is, because a lot of times these packages don't tell you. And like I said, I don't know if they do that necessarily on purpose. So another big one is avocados. This comes up a lot because avocados are on the meal plan quite a bit. I don't, I know I have it written there, but to say a half of an avocado, look at these avocados. You are getting all different sizes of an avocado. You have different size pits. Look at the flesh difference between this one and this one. So the true way of knowing what you're getting is to actually put it on the food scale and measure it. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to destroy everyone's possible love of hummus for the rest of your life because it's my job to warn you about the dangers of certain foods, and hummus is one of them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing so that you guys could see me big here. I love my water bottle, by the way, and everyone makes fun of me, but I don't care. Okay, so I have here, I'm gonna turn my little, okay. I brought down some cutting supplies and food scale. So what I have here is 3 different apples. All right, so I just wanted to show you, since apples are on the meal plan, uh, how we just go on FitnessPal and we just pull up apple. We have 3 different apples, and I mean, these two, you might agree, look exactly the same. So I'm hoping that my scale will register for you guys to see. It actually might. So what you do if you've not done grams before is you turn on your scale. I'm going to get this to work. Maybe I won't. Too bright. No, I'm so sad. I thought it would work for sure. Okay. Well, you're not going to get to see the number, but okay. So you turn on your scale and it'll say grams. No. Okay, you guys are going to have to trust me. All right, so I'm going to put this on here, and I have 114 grams. Same size apple, 140 grams. Now, you like how rotten my apples are? Sorry. I dug these out of the bottom of my drawer. Okay, so not that big of a difference, but substantial enough that if you day by day by day, it's going to add up. Now I have another apple here, doesn't look that much larger, 196. So between this apple and this apple, almost double the calories, yet doesn't really look double. Almost double the calories. So what you do is when you measure this is you go on FitnessPal, you put in apple, and you look up grams, put in 115, and then you will know exactly what your apple measurement is. Okay, so I'm going to save this for a little bit later so that I could show you the next thing. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you here is how do you measure something like peanut butter? So peanut butter is liquid calories and fat. And if you've read my book, you've heard me joke about it, but it was no joke because this is the reason for my weight gain in many years past. How do you measure a tablespoon of peanut butter? Well, if you are going to measure it like this, I mean, this is pretty close. Okay, so I'm going to actually put this on the food scale and see what I get. So what I got was 20 grams, which isn't horrific. What you want to do is look at the label right there. And I know it's not very clear for you, but up in the corner next to the tablespoon, it says 32 grams for 2 tablespoons. So 16 is what I should have had. So I'm just a little bit over. However, oftentimes we like to do this. And so that is the problem with peanut butter, because this is probably 200 calories worth of peanut butter. Okay. So the true way to actually measure peanut butter is to put it on the food scale like this. Okay. So this is going to come back in a little bit, but first I have to show you the hummus. The hummus is the one. So first of all, my hummus story. Hummus, if you notice on the meal plan, is not considered a fat. It's not considered a protein. And the reason for that is because it doesn't have enough of fat or protein to qualify as either. So I considered it a non-essential. So treat it like mayonnaise. Treat it like a bell and a whistle. Okay. And when I say that, I truly mean treat it like mayonnaise. Looking at this, it has a very ambiguous serving size. 2 tablespoons is 80 calories. You look at this and go, hey, 2 tablespoons, 80 calories. This is great. I'm gonna eat this, 2 tablespoons. Awesome. So the first time I bought this, which was, gosh, probably 12 years ago, I managed to eat this entire thing in a weekend with baby carrots and with, you know, peppers. And so I did the math, 34 times 80 in a weekend. That's, that's a lot of calories that I consumed. And in my brain, I thought it was all just healthy. However, I don't care how healthy it is, that's way too many calories in just not really eating a meal. So what I want to do here is I want to show you how caloric this is. And it's really eye-opening when you see it in this presentation. So first off, let me wipe off my spoon here. Back in the day, I would just lick this, but I've learned that lesson. Okay, so what I have is a pepper. Normally, again, years past, I would not even count this as anything because it's a pepper, and peppers are a vegetable, so it's free, right? Um, so no, that's not how it works. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut my pepper and put it on the food scale. Now, I'm not suggesting that you weigh everything, because if you put in pepper on FitnessPal, you're going to get a pretty close amount. But I just want to show you how inaccurate sometimes our brains are. So I'm going to put this pepper on here, and I have 250 grams of red pepper. Okay, so now I have my little spread here of peppers, which is really quite a easy little mindless snack that oftentimes people will say, oh, I just had a little bit of hummus with my peppers, right? Okay. All right. So now on this lid, I'm going to put on this lid 80 calories of hummus. So you can see what that looks like. So I am looking at this 28 grams of 28 grams is all I'm getting. Here we go. That's it. This is 80. This is 80 calories of hummus. You guys, are you outraged? I told you. This is 80 calories of hummus. All right, so now watch, for real. The first time I did this last summer. Some of you might have seen me. I'm not kidding. For real. I would eat this all the time. Okay, I'm not even lying. If this is 80 calories of hummus, then this little thing here is 100 calories. For real. So my pepper that was 200, could I get somebody to look up on FitnessPal 200 any wizards out there? Let me look who's with me here that's been with me for a while. Can someone look up 200 grams of red pepper for me? I don't know who's here. So I'm gonna just make myself a little appetizer here. I'm gonna do another one here, and then I'll take your questions and answers here while I do this. 80. You guys watching? I need a bigger one. What did I say I got? 28?
Irene, 200 grams of red pepper is 31 calories.
Okay, so not bad. 28. Okay, that's another 80 calories. No, I would eat this in one bite. So this is 200, this is almost 200 calories. It's appalling. Do you get my message here? So I'm sorry, how much was the red pepper? 40?
100 grams is 31 calories.
100 grams? Okay, so 200 grams is 60?
62.
Okay, so if I were to put this on the other two, it would be 60. 1, 2, 3. This would be a 400 calorie snack. No, hang on. I mean, for real. I mean, this is just one example. One example. And I mean, I'm not even kidding you. If you guys weren't watching, I would eat these right now. I'm just kidding. Okay. And it's hard. I mean, to even just put this little bit of hummus on there, it's not even worth it. And so with that same thing being said, whoever looked that up, could you also look up what an apple is for, I'm gonna weigh this bigger apple one more time. 195 grams of apple. And then I'm gonna cut the apple. Actually, to be fair, we're not eating the core, so let's do that one more time.
It's 101 calories.
Whoa, that was a scary voice. 168 grams. How much? Okay, so I'll wait for that answer. So we got the apple here. Now I'm going to show you what a typical person is going to do with their peanut butter. And this is no joke either. And I'm not going to exaggerate on this. So this is 200 calories of peanut butter. So there's no way I'm getting all of these apples dipped. And
it looks like it's 100. It looks like it's a calorie per gram.
Oh, okay. So 150 calories. And then so this here is 350 calories. And I there's no way I'm getting that This is not covering my apple. So when you are not measuring and you're just a typical all-American snack, like the famous apple peanut butter, that, you know, if you are really, really, really not measuring it, you're probably consuming 400-ish. And if you are a peanut butter lover, then you are, you know, you could be consuming a lot more than that. So, so I'm gonna go back to this last slide and then I'll let you guys ask your questions here. Did I just ruin your day? Did I ruin everybody's day? The bottom line is it's, did you guys see the presentation again? Are you guys seeing
No,
this?
no, it's spinning.
Oh, it's spinning.
Mm-hmm.
I got kicked off and I was kind of happy because it was right when you were talking about hummus, which I love.
Oh, you needed to see the hummus. Well, you're gonna have to watch that again. Okay, can you see it now?
I just see Irene has started screen sharing, but nothing.
Huh, I wonder what's going on. Okay, well, pretty much, I'm just gonna stop it then. My last slide was just talking about, you know, peanut butter and hummus. So the bottom line is, start looking at grams, start paying attention to the labels, and every label on the back has, I need like a full shower after that presentation. On the back has, next to the tablespoons, has the grams. Do you see that? So when you put in the grams there, on FitnessPal, input the actual grams, whether it's a fruit, whether it's a piece of bread. And like I said, I'm not suggesting that you put everything in, but now that I know that a red pepper has 60 calories, you know, I'm not going to be mindless about it. And in the past, I would just throw a pepper in my, you know, omelet and be like, oh, it's just a pepper, not count it. That adds up. And certainly the famous, I'm just walking past my son's plate and I'm just gonna scoop up some hummus, and you just saw what 100 calories was. And if you're not logging those little bites and nibbles, and this could turn into, like I said, thousands of calories in the end, that are not being looked at or not being paid attention to. So, questions?
Hey Irene, it's Aleka. How are you?
How are ya?
Good. Hey, I have a question. You
Mhm.
just had somebody answer on the grams of apple. I think
Yeah.
you asked for 168 grams, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So when I put it in FitnessPal, the number I think was off, or maybe I didn't hear it, but mine came up to 64 calories for that apple. I thought somebody else had a way higher number. So
Huh,
I was
that
just
seems,
Yeah, so like I did a
Let
green
me-
apple. So that's what makes me nervous is am I
But-
off when I'm in FitnessPal then?
okay, so I'd love to share my screen now if this will let me. Let me try this one more time. There is a way on FitnessPal to tell which ones are more accurate than others.
Okay,
So are you guys seeing this now?
I see avocado hummus.
Okay, good. Okay, so let me just kind of finish off America's favorite snack. Okay, yeah, it was done. Okay, so I'm gonna go to FitnessPal now, and how do I get out of here? Oh, here we go. On FitnessPal, there is a way to track. Oh, here we go. There is a way to tell which ones are more, uh-oh. I'm having a technical issue. Give me 1 second. There is a way to tell which ones are more valid. And I'm going to show you in a second here as soon as I get this situated. There we go. Okay. All right, so I'm going to open up my FitnessPal and then I'm going to share. Okay, perfect. So when you go on FitnessPal, in the corner here, okay, are you guys seeing my FitnessPal?
Yep.
Okay, so when you go on FitnessPal, I'm going to put in Apple. Okay, so I have all these different apples. 154 grams. Yeah, that I think that apple 182 grams. 1 second. 1 gram. And then my apple was 100 and I forgot now what I said it was. Let's just
68.
say it was, okay, let's just say 150. Nutritional information. Okay. Do you see how it says confirmed by 0 users?
Yep.
This is not a good one. Nobody confirmed this one. So you don't want to go to that one. Okay. So let's go to a different one here. 182, 1 nutritional information confirmed by 75 users. So this one is more accurate. Okay. But nonetheless, I think the number that we received from whoever gave us that first figure might have been off. So we'd have to look at that one. But this is how you know which ones are probably more valid. And you're right, that is a huge flaw of FitnessPal. And it is because it's a free app. And the way it works is right here, add to food base. I could right now write in whatever I want. I could put apple right now. I could put apple and I could put that I found an apple for 1,000 calories and it's going to go right in there for somebody to find. So you have to really be careful. However, the best way to know if you are ever in doubt is Google it. I can't see who's all with me right now, but somebody put up a really good source. Brooke, are you on tonight? She put on a really good source. I think I bookmarked it of where to go for food information if you are ever. Hang on, let me look here. She put up a source. It's like the FDA actual source. If you ever are like so confused about food, it's the actual FDA website, and you would put in apple, and then that would give you the most accurate one that there is. And I'll talk to Brooke and put that up on one of our resource pages. So, any other questions?
So it didn't matter the kind of apple?
Yeah, obviously the kind of apple letter. So did you put in green or red or?
Well, I saw that there was like there were different kinds of apples with the different calories for the per gram.
Yeah, and that could be the issue. Green apples are much lower in calories and sugar.
Oh, wow.
So very possibly that could be the issue.
I have another question. So in the recipe, if it says a half of a diced apple, how do we know how many grams it should be?
So for the apples, if it's an essential, the fruits about 80 to 100 calories.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And because it's essential, non-essential rather, you kind of have the flexibility. So if you want to just put on like I said with the blueberries, just a little drizzle of it because you want to have like just a couple crunchies on there.
Okay.
And only count it as 20 calories. and save those calories for your glass of wine or your piece of chocolate later, then you can, because it's not an essential. And so there's really no calorie amount. If you are someone that loves apples and you want to use that as your like splurge and you want to put on like, 150 calories worth of apples, then that's your extra.
Yeah, and what about avocado? That's a-
Avocado, yeah, on the macro exchange sheet, it says 80 to 100 calories worth.
Okay,
And I believe I even put the grams worth on there. But I put 80 to 100 calories worth because then it takes out the whole gram math. You can just go
Okay.
on FitnessPal and figure out what 80 to 100 calories worth is.
okay. And that doesn't matter what kind it is. It has to be 80 to 100 calories.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
And the oatmeal, like when you have recipes for breakfast and you say a half a cup of oatmeal, that's after it's cooked?
It's half a cup of cooked oat. It says it on the meal plan. I always get myself confused. It's a half a cup of raw oats,
So not cooked?
not cooked.
Okay,
And it says it on there. It says prepare a half a cup of uncooked oats in 1 cup of water. Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
And,
you.
and uh-huh. So
So
real
I-
quick about the oats, you could make your oats depending on how you microwave them. The cooked product might come out to be a cup. It might come out to be a cup and a half, depending on how fluffy it gets. You know what I mean? So the bottom line is if it's a half a cup uncooked, you're safe.
Okay, thank you.
I cut somebody off. Sorry about that. Who had a
It's
question?
okay, it's Tina.
Hello.
Hello, so basically, we need to use MyFitnessPal on a computer. Because you
No.
can't see the whole who's verified things on the app.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Oh,
So I've only been using MyFitnessPal on an app because I only have an app or an iPad. I don't have a computer. I mean, I have a work computer, but
okay. So there is another option. When the top ones that come up, the
Mhm.
verified ones are the ones that are
that
they
have the
come up
green
first.
check. Right.
Yeah, those come up first. The other thing you can do is you can go through Chrome or Safari on your phone and get the desktop version of it on your phone. Does that make sense?
Okay, yes, that makes sense. I can do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's an extra step, but
Mhm.
I mean, I used to exclusively do it just on my phone, but when it comes to recipe building or like investigating, like when I say investigating, like when you get a new plan and you want to like, all right, I got new stuff, I want to like figure stuff out,
Mhm.
maybe go the desktop way because you're getting to see a lot more, and the recipe building is so much better.
Okay.
Irene, this is Kathy Yinger. Quick question. So I know with what a lot of times I do is I will use the scan bar option in my
The what?
Fitness Pal.
Scan, yeah,
So that's actually more accurate, the most accurate.
yes, except for if you're doing like a fruit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
yeah.
still gotta weigh it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, for
But is
sure.
it
And I should
turned-
have mentioned that. So yeah, if you're doing yeah, you're right. So for something like hummus, you could scan it, but you still have to weigh it,
Measure.
so it'll
Yeah, okay.
it'll put it in the database and you won't have to put it in there. You're right. But putting it on the food scale is still so important,
Correct.
so that you know.
But at least it'll give me the most accurate calories for my 50 grams.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Other questions? Well, did I scare you guys all now? it is a little overwhelming, it is. But the bottom line is this, you know, from someone like on my end, who repeatedly hears, you know, I've tried everything, nothing works, you know, my body's broken, my metabolism's broke, nothing works, nothing works. But then you see, you know, this like sample, I mean, I can tell you, like, to know that this is 100 calories, and this is of the most healthiest thing that you could eat. You know, it's eye-opening when you start making changes like this. And then when you start seeing the pounds go off, and what's really huge is when you start making changes like this and you start feeling hunger pains that you never had before, because you're like, oh, suddenly I'm, you know, like when I swiped peanut butter out of my diet, I was like starving all day long, all the time. Well, I was eating, you know, 700 calories a day less from not eating peanut butter like a crazy person, because it was a deficit. So, you know, it all comes together in the end, and you will see a result. And it's an education, you know, you're learning, and you know, it will change the trajectory of your future, because, you know, 10 years from now, you'll be at a party going, that hummus, you know, I mean, it is what it is. So, okay. Also, one last thing, always look at the total servings. So this has 32 servings, like I told you that one weekend. And I mean, I was training for Chicago Marathon, so I was like, you know, well, again, when you polish something off like this in 3 days and you do the math, you're like, okay, well, I just consumed, you know, 5,000 calories in 3 days without the baby carrots. So, okay. All right, you guys, live workout tomorrow. Be there. Okay. All right. Well, have a good night. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
See ya.